We are live, 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 live. I'm what you need. Watching my channel right now. I got good news. Got great news actually. Great news. Um, Tropical storm came and it left, and we're still here. We still got electricity. We had a little bit of flooding. The sister island or twin island wasn't so lucky. They had more flooding there, but basically we survived the storm, man. So I'm happy about that. And here we are. I still can stream and stuff. So that's good news. Um, we'll talk a little bit of boxing. We're going to talk about some of the fights that happened over the weekend. Particularly, I'm going to talk about Alfredo Angulo and the split decision win over Peter Quillen. Great performance by Angulo. Kept on catching Peter Quillen with those hooks to his head, rocking back his head. Good body work by Angulo as well. Um, I would say this. I don't know how much Peter Quillen's heart and mind is in boxing anymore. Um, but he's very vulnerable. His chin's up in the air. He's getting tagged to the head quite a lot. He was catching Angulo with the uppercuts on the inside. Uppercut, left hook, but um, Angulo's doing very well with Abel Sanchez. Abel Sanchez is a good matchup for Angulo in his particular style. And Angulo looked pretty good against Peter Quillen. Um, Definitely deserved the win. Kudos to him. It's kind of a semi-upset because I thought Peter Quillen versus Alfredo Angulo, Peter Quillen should win that fight. That's what I was thinking in my mind. I was wrong, and this is a year of upsets, as you know. And Angulo came to fight, and he did the better work. So he deserves the win. Um, Kudos to him, and props to him on that. So I want to talk about. I am not going to talk about any other fights. There were some other fights where spectacular knockouts happened on the PBC card. I'm not going to talk about them. Not now, at least. Excuse me. Gotta yawn a little bit. And I'm back to it. So, as of now, Andre Ward has been recorded as saying that in the fight between Sergey Kovalev and Canelo, he picks Canelo to win by stoppage late in the fight because, same thing I've been saying, I think that Sergey Kovalev, one, doesn't take shots to the body well and lets everybody know that. The whole wide world knows that, which is kind of sad. And then the other thing is he doesn't know how to, keep a poker face, in other words. And the second thing is doesn't protect his body well. If you are getting hit to the body like that, then you at least should have some defense to protect your body, a better defense than that. And that's why mostly he gets hit to the body and he gets hurt. So Andrew Ward said pretty much the same thing I've been saying, which means he has observed that. Okay, so he said Canelo stopped him somewhere in the 11th, 10th, 11th round. Makes sense. Stop him late, in other words. Invested the body, stop him late. Here's the thing. That ain't no new news, right? We've heard it from a number of people have been saying this, and professional people. In fact, Sugar Ray Leonard hinted to that as well. And, it is what it is. That's not the issue at hand. It was that Max Kellerman asked Andre Ward about if Canelo beats Kovalev, is Andre Ward willing to accept a challenge of Canelo facing him? That's what this conversation is really about right now. First of all, I'm going to be on record as saying if Andre Ward comes back to face Canelo, he's going to beat him. Period. And it's not because of any one particular thing. It's a combination of different factors why Andre Ward would beat Canelo. But first of all, I have the luxury of saying this. Canelo doesn't have the luxury of saying this. Canelo has in front of him Sergey Kovalev, a dangerous puncher, good jabber, good boxer. So he can't entertain that notion. I think Sergey Kovalev mentioned Andre Ward. I don't think Canelo mentioned Andre Ward. I don't think Andre Ward's on Canelo's mind. I don't think that Canelo, even after he beat Sergey Kovalev, he already said he's going back down to 160. Andre Ward is retired, so Canelo's not going to try and call out a retired boxer, first of all. And second of all, Canelo's got enough common sense to know if he doesn't want to face, if Demetrius Andrade is not an attractive proposition for him, or Jamal Charlo, or Billy Joe Saunders at this point in time, as much as Andre Ward has all this legacy and he'll be coming out of retirement and all that, Canelo don't want a piece of that right now. Are you kidding me? I can break down for you guys very simply why Andre Ward, I believe, would beat Canelo. Not easily, but he would beat him. 1, Andre Ward doesn't have partial game. He has all-round game. 2, Andre Ward will find a way to win. He has shown that in his career. So his mentality is one like that. 3, like I said before, Canelo is not the greatest outboxer. You know he outboxed Gennady Golovkin? He's not the greatest outboxer out there. Andre Ward is a much better outboxer than Canelo is. Andre Ward, in some aspects of infighting, particularly when he has a hand free and you are locking up his other hand, is pretty good at infighting. Not better than Canelo, but he's pretty good at infighting. So he can handle himself on the inside. And at mid-range, he can also handle himself. And he's got really, all around, he's really good. People really underrate Andre Ward's jab. Andre Ward does a lot of things off of his jab. And so he has a good jab. He can fight on the inside. He fights very well on the outside. He can fight at mid-range. He has good footwork. He can move around the ring a lot more. He's not easy to hit. These are combinations, and he is a bigger guy than Canelo. That combination of stuff makes for Andre Ward to be favored in that fight. So, Canelo is not really an outboxer, but he can outbox you. It's a great jab when he uses it. Does not depend on the jab to win fights. He's very tricky in how he approaches his opponents. And he gets on the inside of his opponent as he will Andre Ward. The thing about it is, like I said before, Andre Ward can do some things on the inside. Canelo's a better inside fighter than him, but he can do some things on the inside to make it so that he can get his advantage when he wants to get his advantage on the inside. So you're talking about two boxers, and it'll be the IQ of both boxers. The thing about it is, one boxer, he has a reputation for not having lost a fight since he was 12. The other boxer lost the fight to Floyd Mayweather. The other boxer is still learning and growing in boxing. And the other boxer will be the smaller fighter. This is a case of where you talk about a good big fighter facing a good smaller fighter. And in this case, the bigger fighter will win. Because Canelo does all the things Andre Ward does. Andre Ward does all the things Canelo does. They come from the same school of thought. As a result, now you have to pick the bigger guy. See? Because Andre Ward knows how to use his size as well on the inside. And I would argue that if he comes back, he ain't going to come back if he doesn't think he can beat Canelo. He's not going to come back for that. If he doesn't think he's in shape or he's not ready to face a Canelo, he's not going to come back. He's a smart fighter. Canelo's also very smart. which is why Canelo would never call out Andre Ward. That is just something he would not do. He and his team just wouldn't do it, right? He's not looking for that. Why would he do that, right? So that's one fighter I could tell you as a fact. I don't care what anybody says. He would beat Canelo. He would beat Canelo. That's a name in boxing, where we're talking about he got a better record, amateurs and pros, than Floyd. When you put amateurs and pros together, he's got a better record than Floyd does. So that's not a guy I'm going to ever bet against, Andre Ward. I mean, that name is entrenched in the recesses of boxing. And anybody say that Andre Ward lost the first fight against Sergey Kovalev, that's another thing Max Kellerman was saying. He was saying, if Canelo puts away Sergey Kovalev in his first fight, he would have done it. He would have done to Sergey Kovalev what it took you 2 fights to do. But see, there are a couple major points here. Nobody knew what was Sergey Kovalev's vulnerability until Andre Ward came on the scene. Andre Ward had to figure that out. Canelo doesn't have to figure that out. He knows that's part of what happens with Sergey Kovalev. So if Canelo stops Sergey Kovalev, because Canelo knows that Andre Ward stops Sergey Kovalev. Okay? He knows Sergey Kovalev will be vulnerable to the body. It's a totally different thing when a known vulnerability of a boxer is now known to the boxing fraternity. Right? That changes everything. So, like Andre Ward was saying, Sergey Kovalev was the crusher when Andre Ward met him. Undefeated crusher. Right? Was the guy. Adonis Stevenson, who just recently literally got comatose by Gavordik, was avoiding, by some people, the crusher. Right? They tried to make the fight, never happened. It seemed as though he was avoiding the crusher. He didn't want to get crushed. That was the reputation that Sergey Kovalev had when he faced Andre Ward. When I heard Andre Ward was stepping up to face Sergey Kovalev, HBO had set this up so Andre Ward would get his ass beat. When I saw that Andre Ward, I remember Jim Lampley, he almost went into an orgasm when Andre Ward got dropped, right? When they had Andre Ward move up in weight, I remember Floyd Mayweather vividly saying, man, they trying to set you up to get beat. And they talking about how, Andre Ward would be great and blah, 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 blah. But the crusher Kovalev was a bad boy when Andre Ward faced him. And Andre Ward got dropped by the crusher, showing that the crusher got power, and he's smart. Andre Ward was trying to pull counter the crusher's jab, and he got caught with a right. He got caught with a 1-2, mainly because he came off a wrong angle anyway. He was out of position. He tried to slip the jab and then come over the top. And you're talking about he ran into the right. And it dropped him, but he got back up. It was like a flash knockdown. And I said, if Andre Ward could take that shot from the crusher, the crusher ain't really a crusher. He's not really a crusher. Because he got caught flush. Andre Ward got caught flush, not on the chin, but he got caught flush in the face. Ain't nobody took that punch. Most people, they got knocked down with that punch, and they didn't recover. But if you watch it, Bernard Hopkins versus the Crusher, you realized elite fighters could handle Sergey Kovalev's punch. He really wasn't as hyped as advertised. Kind of like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson wasn't really as advertised. A lot of guys were just sort of mortified of him and were not well conditioned. So a lot of them got beat by him before they even entered the ring with him. But in the case of Andre Ward, he wasn't afraid of him. And after he got knocked down, he got up, took him 2 rounds to figure out what was going on with Kovalev, and then he went to the breadbasket, baby. And that was that. That's all she wrote. So, saying that Canelo would dispatch Sergey Kovalev, he won't be dispatching the Crusher. He'll be dispatching a boxer puncher, yeah, but not the Crusher. And since Andre Ward's win over Kovalev, we've learned that Kovalev is flawed in a number of different ways. And a boxer like Canelo will exploit that. You don't see Canelo jumping up to face Gavordik or Bivol or Bitterbiev. You're not gonna see him enthusiastic for that, and he definitely ain't gonna see him enthusiastic to call out Andre Ward from retirement to come and face him. He knows better than that. He's smart enough to understand. You know what? Just let the retired guy be retired. You know what I mean? So he'll go back down to 160, and more than likely he'll face one of them young guys there if they worth it. Andre, I hope he gets a good competitor before the end of the year, because honestly, I am not interested in a Canelo Triple G fight, a third one. A lot of people are. I don't know why, but I'm not. I'm interested in new faces, new people, and so I'm looking forward to that. Intangible Boxing says Angulo versus Chavez Jr. Isn't Chavez Jr. supposed to face we're hearing Danny Jacobs? I think that's the fight that people are talking about. Seeing that Angulo, you know what would have been interesting too? Angulo versus Danny Jacobs, because they shared the same opponent, Peter Quillen. I don't think Peter Quillen's mind's in boxing anymore, though. His chin is way up in the air. He'd be getting hit on the chin. I think, shout out to Intangible Boxing. I think that, Angulo versus Chavez Jr. would be a nice fight. Very nice fight, but let's see what happens with Danny Jacobs versus Chavez Jr. first. Thoughts on Gary Russell Jr. walking up on Leo Santa Cruz's dad? Okay, first of all, people misunderstood what Gary Russell Jr. was saying. So, thankfully, Jontes Boxing Nation did an interview with him. This is what he was basically saying, right? His brother actually fought over the weekend. Gary Russell Jr. was saying he can't get to see Leo Santa Cruz. But here he was watching his dad. He said, I can get in contact and touch your dad. I could touch your father, but I can't touch you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where he was coming from. It wasn't, he just can't. See, Gary Russell Jr., if y'all haven't been paying attention, everybody kind of forgot about him. But Gary Russell Jr. been trying to get a fight. I think Gary Russell Jr. actually fights at featherweight, right? He's been trying to get a fight for the longest while. Nobody's facing him. Who's somebody? So he's trying to get some fights, man. Trying to make some noise. He want Tank. He want Leo. Those are PBC fighters, and there's no reason why they can't face him. And then he's talking about names such as, and if you look at it, Leo ain't faced nobody, really. Leo ain't faced nobody for the last, he been fighting some, and then Tank ain't faced nobody. He was supposed to face Abner Mares. He didn't face Abner Mares. Now I hear Leo talking about facing Tank. And I'm like, why? And then Gary Russell Jr. was talking about he would like to face Lomachenko again. He gonna dog him, try and get him. He was talking about Tank with a catch weight. So, I mean, Gary Russell Jr. just trying to get some fights because people kind of forgot about him. And two, he trying to get high-profile fights. Sin Amosia says, Abner is nobody too. I wouldn't say that. Abner is a 4-divisional world champion, if I'm not mistaken. And Abner has fought all kinds of people. Now, don't get me wrong. Leo Santa Cruz faced Carl Frampton, beat him. He faced Abner Mares. He faced a number of good fighters, and he showed he could do some stuff. But he and Javante, man, they fight some good fighters, and then after that, they just be fighting some guys we don't even know who they are. You know what I'm saying? We don't even know who these guys are. Let me pull up my next phone so I can show you guys what's going on with them guys. Because I think Gary's a featherweight, right? So Josh Warrington, why can't he face Josh Warrington? You know what I mean? That's a featherweight. Gary Russell Jr. has fought 5 guys in the last half decade. I think he fights once a year or something like that. Hold on a second there, folks. Thank you. So I'm going up on BoxRec just to show you guys something. Abner is too small for Tank. Tank should face Haney. That would be a good test for both. That's a good fight. Tank versus Devin Haney. I got Devin Haney. He gonna beat Tank. Devin Haney gonna beat. And Tank got a lot more experience, but I got Haney over Tank. All right, this is what Gary Russell Jr. been looking like. He faced Kiko Martinez this year. May this year and knocked his ass out. He faced Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz, the guy that Tevin Farmer talking about facing. He faced Jojo Diaz, and he beat him by unanimous decision. Undefeated Jojo Diaz at that. These are the names. Don't really matter. Oscar Escandon. I don't know who the fuck that is. Patrick Hyland. I don't know who the fuck that is. Johnny Gonzalez. He was the WBC World Featherweight Champion. He had knocked out Abner Mares. Old ass Johnny Gonzalez. Gary Russell gave him the get the fuck out of boxing treatment. Johnny Gonzalez, I think, is still fighting, if I'm not mistaken. He did not get the memo. Oh my God. Yep, he's still fighting. He just fought last month. He beat a guy called Ramiro Blanco by unanimous decision. He been fighting. Oh my God. He's still fighting, but he's at a higher weight class. Johnny Gonzalez. Woo! Intangible Boxing says PBC has not secured anything for Gary Russell. It's true. I mean, he did have a good fight, like I said before, with Jojo Diaz, but Jojo Diaz wasn't even with PBC. What the fuck is this? Why do I have this? Okay. Yeah, he faced Kiko Martinez. You know Kiko Martinez, everybody, bitch. Kiko Martinez said, man, I fought all the greats. I got knocked out by all of them, but hey. Oh, man. Yeah. So he faced Jojo Diaz in May. It seems May is his month. 2018. Yeah. So that's what's up. He might be fighting twice this year. He might fight in December. Gary Russell Jr. He's trying to get a fight, boy. He be trying to get a name. Because since Lomachenko, he ain't really faced nobody. Really faced Lomachenko. He faced Vasily Lomachenko 2014. Know what I mean? Since then, he really ain't faced nobody of note. Nobody of note. That's amazing, isn't it? See what you guys are saying. You guys were talking away. while I was just looking up Gary Russell Jr. here. Cruz also ducked Guillermo Rigondeaux a few years back. Yep. That's true. He ducked a lot of people. Everybody ducked Rigondeaux. Where is Mike Alvarado's TBE? Angulo beat Quillin. Yeah, I talked about that early on. I talked about it. Quillin with his chin up in the air. I'm surprised he didn't get knocked out. He's strong, but oh my God, that's terrible. Keep your chin tucked, man. All right, so let me look at the featherweight division here. Some of the bad boys in the featherweight division and how Gary Russell Jr. stacks up with that division. So he did not face Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz, I don't know what he is. Leo Santa Cruz is the what? I don't even know what Leo Santa Cruz is anymore. I think Leo Santa Cruz was trying to move up to super feather. Josh Warrington is in that division. Cal Frampton's in that division. Oscar Valdez was in that division. Oscar Valdez vacated, moved up to super feather. And you know who else is in that division, right? Shakur Stevenson is in that division. Love to see Shakur Stevenson versus Gary Russell Jr. And Kid Galahad is in that division. Jesse Magdaleno is in that division. I think Frampton's in that division as well. So, you know, we got those names in division, and none of them motherfuckers Gary Russell Jr. has faced. None of them. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, a loaded division, this dude ain't facing nobody. Right? I say if you can't get fights at featherweight, move your ass up to super featherweight. Right? That makes sense? If you can't get fights at a certain division, move up to another division, see if you can get fights. That's what Gary Russell Jr. may have to do. Because them guys, they don't look like they want to face you. That's what you have to do. Is he willing to do that? I don't know. But yeah, good point speaking to that. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on a second. Right. Lopez versus Molina prediction. Lopez. Oh, yeah. Is this Carlos Molina versus Josecito Lopez? Is that the fight we talking about? Can't be Carlos Molina. Trying to figure out. By the way, Jojo Diaz just beat Jesus Cuadro as well over the weekend. And of course, Dulorme, he beat Terrell Williams. I heard it was a really good fight. I haven't seen it yet. I think D Styles and they was covering that. I think he knocked down Terrell Williams in the 12th. It was the 11th or 12th round. I can't remember which one. But I heard it was a good fight. All right, so just want to cover one more thing. Upcoming fights: Sean Porter versus Errol Spence Jr. I think a lot of people make some very valid points about Errol Spence stopping Sean Porter. Think about this. Porter is not greater than Errol Spence on the inside. Porter's not greater than Errol Spence on the outside. Porter's not greater than Errol Spence at mid range. So people are saying, how's Sean Porter going to beat Errol Spence? I mean, how? It's a great question. I don't know either. That's why I have Errol Spence winning that fight. And think about it. It's possible he might end it by KO too. It depends on what kind of Sean Porter we're looking at. And the way LB broke it down when I was listening to Ringside Reporter, he might just stop him. Also, Anthony Dirrell versus David Benavidez. I got the younger David Benavidez beating Anthony Dirrell. But they bought the same kind of fighter. So we'll see what happens there. But I got the younger Benavidez beating Dirrell. Can Dirrell, with his veteranship, beat David Benavidez? Both of them are going to be fighting on the outside. So, oh man, we'll see. I don't know. I would like to. I like Anthony Dirrell because he's the veteran. But I think David Benavidez will beat him. Yeah, so that's what's happening next weekend. You were talking about Josecito Lopez versus something Molina. I'm not too sure who we talking about here. Golovkin versus Derevyanchenko. I got Derevyanchenko. But we'll see. Yeah. So that's basically what I would say about upcoming fight predictions. Of course, my prediction could change depending on what I see in training and what I see with the fighters. But so that I got so far. I'm not too sure who Josecito Lopez is facing. I can't really tell you guys exactly what I feel. Oh man, I need to go to sleep. I just felt that energy drop. Yeah, so that's what I basically got. I'm so glad that I still got internet and I still got electricity. Things could have been so much different here. There was some flooding in the country, but not that bad. Anyway, peoples, I'm getting punch drunk. As I speak to you guys, I'm starting to fade off. So I want to wish you guys a good night. Stay blessed. Hope stay safe. I'm out. Peace. What you need. I'm gone.